Viewers, listen carefully because what I'm about to share with you will hold your attention from beginning to end. Fulani bandits are in deep shock right now after a woman who had been secretly working as their informant was caught by locals. This incident is shaking several communities to their core because it's not every day you see bandits losing one of their most important sources of inside information. And to think that the person giving them that advantage was a woman, people are still trying to believe it. Before I go deeper into this gist, please like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of these real-time updates coming your way. Now here's exactly how the matter unfolded. In the Lafiagi and Patigi areas of Kwara State, locals began to grow suspicious of one particular woman. They noticed strange movements around her home. They noticed how bandits were managing to enter certain places with surprising ease. The pattern was too clear to ignore. Eventually, they connected the dots. Late one night or very early in the morning, depending on who you ask, the community moved in and grabbed her. They accused her of signaling bandits, of tipping them off whenever security personnel weren't around, and of pointing out which people in the area were most vulnerable. Now think about the level of courage it took for those villagers to act. These bandits are armed, ruthless, and unpredictable. But even with that risk, the people decided that enough was enough. They would not fold their hands anymore. If you are following this gist, please click that like button and subscribe because stories like this are not just about crime, they're about courage. Why is this particular story so important? Because in Nigeria today, banditry is no longer the scattered chaos it used to be. It has become structured, almost like an organized cartel. These groups now operate like a network. They rely on insiders, informants, suppliers, and local collaborators to survive. Without those people, they are blind. So when one informant is caught, it weakens the entire system. This is why the arrest of this woman in Kwara State is such a big deal. And it's not an isolated case. Just a few days ago in Zamfara State, the army also arrested another woman who was allegedly supplying food, fuel, and logistics to bandits hiding in the forests. That tells us something. This thing is not small. It's spreading, and women too are getting caught up in it, whether by choice or by force. Please, as you are watching, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications because I bring you these stories with full context and updates you won't get elsewhere. Now, let's talk about how serious the issue of informants really is. Imagine this. Security agencies are doing their best, patrolling, setting up checkpoints, moving from one area to another. But while all that is happening, someone inside the community is quietly feeding bandits information. That person tells them when the soldiers are leaving, which roads are clear, and who in the area just came back from abroad or collected money from the bank. That is how these attacks become so precise and deadly. So when locals catch an informant, it's like cutting off the eyes and ears of the bandits. It's a small victory, but a very important one. However, it's also dangerous. Once the bandits find out that their informant has been exposed, they may try to retaliate. This is why the government and security forces must step in fast. If communities take risks to protect themselves, they must also be protected afterward. So, while we clap for the bravery of these villagers, we must also demand that authorities move quickly to secure their area. If you agree with me, hit that like button and subscribe because this is how we spread awareness. Now let's go deeper. Why would someone, especially a woman, help bandits? There are several possible reasons. Some do it willingly, maybe for money or out of loyalty to someone among the bandits. Others are forced into it. Sometimes bandits threaten families, saying, "If you don't help us, we will come for you." So not every informant acts out of free will. That's why it's important for the authorities to investigate properly. We must not jump to mob justice because innocent people can also be wrongly accused. But in this Kwara case, reports suggest the evidence was strong. The locals had been observing this woman for a long time, connecting events that always seemed to happen around her movements. So when they finally took action, it was not random. It was the result of long suspicion.
Now, what does this mean for ordinary Nigerians? First, it shows that communities are no longer keeping quiet. People are tired of being victims. They are now bold enough to act. Second, it shows that women are not excluded from this criminal chain, meaning vigilance must include everyone. And third, it shows that the bandits are under pressure. When informants are exposed, they panic. Imagine their reaction. They were expecting a signal from her, maybe a call or a coded message. Then suddenly, nothing, silence. And then they hear, she's been caught. That alone can shake their entire network. They begin to doubt each other. They may even start accusing other insiders. That's why this gist is trending, because it's not just about one arrest, it's about the ripple effect it creates. Please, my people, don't just watch. Like this video and subscribe so more Nigerians can understand what's really going on.
Let us zoom out to the bigger picture. Attacks are still happening in Zamfara, Naija, Kaduna, Sokoto, and Katsina. Innocent lives are being lost. But when communities start fighting back, when they begin catching informants, we see hope. We begin to believe that maybe this problem can be defeated. Now let me throw this question to you, viewers. Do you think this woman helped them willingly, or was she forced? If you were part of that community, would you have had the courage to confront her? And what do you think the government should do next? Provide protection, make arrests, or deploy more joint patrols? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget, liking this video helps it spread so others can also hear these gists. Another thing to note, when an informant is caught, it opens the door to uncover more names. That woman may know other collaborators. She may know who sells fuel to bandits, who hides weapons, and who helps them with transport. If the authorities interrogate her properly, they can expose a whole network. That's why this arrest is more than just one person. It can be the start of a chain reaction. But we must also think of the villagers who caught her. They've painted a target on their backs. Bandits don't forgive easily. If they try to retaliate, that community could be in danger. That's why the government must move in fast to secure the area and protect those brave citizens. Communities cannot fight this battle alone. If you agree with that, type yes in the comments and hit the subscribe button. Now, let us summarize the key takeaways from today's gist. 1. Bandits depend heavily on informants. 2. Locals inquire just disrupted that chain by catching one. 3. Women too are being used in these operations. 4. There is real hope when communities stand up, but they need government backup. And 5. Every one of us must stay alert, report suspicious activity, and refuse to be intimidated. Please like this video and subscribe, because we are going even deeper. Let's look at the broader security map. Nigeria is vast, with many states, but the zones that suffer most from banditry are the northwest and north-central regions, and sometimes parts of the southwest. What's common in all these regions is that bandits do not operate alone. They rely on contacts inside the towns and villages. Without these people, they cannot plan. They won't know which road to block, who has money, or when the army is moving. That's why this story from Kwara is shaking so many places. It's proof that the locals are no longer staying silent. In Zamfara, Sokoto, and Naija, there have also been reports of vigilantes and hunters arresting informants, some of whom were women, traders, or even respected community members. Imagine the pain of discovering that someone you greet every morning in the market is secretly working for bandits. It destroys trust. And that's why this case is more than just news. It's a warning that no one should be above suspicion if the signs are there. Viewers, do you agree that communities must stay extra vigilant? If yes, drop a comment and like this video right now. Now let's think about the psychology of the bandits. When they hear that one of their trusted informants has been caught, they become nervous. They start doubting everyone around them. That mistrust weakens them from the inside. If communities continue exposing their eyes and ears, the bandits will struggle to plan attacks and they will begin to make mistakes. But at the same time, we must remain careful because desperate bandits can become more violent when cornered. That's why security agencies must act faster than them to prevent any retaliation. One big lesson from this incident is the power of community. Ordinary villagers, without guns, without uniforms, took action. That shows what unity can do. If Nigerians come together at the grassroots, insecurity can be pushed back. But let's be realistic. These communities cannot face AK-47 wielding bandits alone. The government must back them up, give them protection, and take over cases like this to ensure justice is done properly. If you are still watching, please like and subscribe because these are the conversations Nigeria needs right now. Let's also face another truth. Women being involved in these criminal networks is not new. Even in the days of Boko Haram, women were used as messengers, smugglers, and informants. In the case of banditry, it's becoming more common. This tells us that insecurity in Nigeria is no longer just about men in the bush. It's an entire ecosystem involving civilians, communities, and sometimes even respected citizens. That means the solution must involve everyone: women, youth, elders, religious leaders, the military, and the government. If you agree, just type "the solution must involve everyone" in the comments so I know you are following. Now think about this. What if this woman confesses and gives more names? What if she exposes other informants or safe houses? That could shake the entire bandit network. It could lead to a chain of arrests and weaken their operations. That's why the authorities must not treat this arrest lightly. They should press for details and at the same time protect the community from possible revenge attacks. Because here's what usually happens. When bandits feel threatened, they try to send a message by attacking somewhere else. That's why everyone must remain alert and report suspicious movements. There's another related gist from Zamfara and Katsina. Some communities have started blocking their own roads, refusing to allow strangers to pass through unless they are known locals. It might sound extreme, but people are desperate to protect themselves. However, if every community begins doing this without coordination, it could lead to confusion and chaos. That's why government presence is critical to coordinate security efforts and maintain order. So viewers, let's look at the big picture. This arrest in Kwara is more than just a local event. It's a signal that the tide might be turning. It shows that bandits are losing grip, that locals are becoming more courageous, and that communities are saying no more. It's also a reminder that after such bold moves, these brave citizens need government protection, and that anyone, man or woman, could be an informant. Let me end this segment with a few direct questions for you. Do you think more women across Nigeria are working as informants for bandits? Do you think they do it mainly for money or sometimes out of fear? And finally, do you think the government is doing enough to protect communities after such arrests? Please leave your answers in the comments below. And remember, liking this video and subscribing is the best way to support this channel so I can keep bringing you real-time updates, analysis, and the kind of stories that reveal what is really happening in our country today.